Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter. Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
Welcome back to the Keeping an Eye on It podcast, sponsored by Cathedral Eye Clinic. This is the podcast where women have their say every 2 weeks, exclusively to Local Women Magazine. Now, with me today, I have assembled a trio of wonderful ladies who've got plenty to say for themselves. So who do we have this week? Well, as usual, we have the amazing, it's Jane Hardy. I love giving you an intro each week, Jane, whether we talk about your amazing friendship with Margaret Thatcher, whether we talk about the time that you said that John Major was sexy,
yes.
Whether you... Go on,
this
Jane.
is true.
By the way, Jane is a journalist and she's like a writer and a girl about town.
Yes.
Interviewer.
Yes. Interviews are what I've mainly done. And I think we were saying earlier that all journalists are nosy, and I think that's true. Guilty is charged.
And she is just... plain nosy. So there we go. We have Nosy Jane. And next to Nosy Jane, we have Laura Shivers, who is a new columnist in Local Woman Magazine. You are from Shivers Bathrooms.
Yes.
Tell us about Shivers Bathrooms.
Well, I sell toilets for a living. Let's face it, everybody needs
Well,
one.
it's very useful.
I know. Tell me about it.
I can't wait to dive into the world of toilets. What's new in toilets?
Well, everything. There's now like easy clean toilets. It's all
Really?
about the cleaning. I'm telling you, you need to upgrade your toilet.
How many toilets do you sell a week?
Oh, me? Oh, my God. Loads.
Really?
Loads. And like customers come in and they sit in the toilets and you comfort height toilets. So like all different heights. So everybody needs a throne in their house.
Well, they do. And that's a use. And you'd be sort of the queen.
I am toilet queen,
You're the
of course.
queen.
Of
You're probably Northern Ireland's throne queen.
Of course I am.
I like that, Laura. I think we're going to have to look at the name of your column actually to get that queen
Get that out
vibe
there.
in. To get that vibe
I don't
in.
have to send in my photographs.
You do have to send in your photographs. Why are you sending your photographs?
And I'll sit in a toilet and get somebody to take a photograph
and you just
of
sit
me.
on the toilet all like...
All elegant and all.
And do you ever get embarrassed talking about toilets?
Definitely not.
No.
No, I'm so passionate about bathrooms. Like, people laugh at me all the time. They come in to buy a bathroom and they're like, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. But at the time I'm finished with their design and I've done everything for them, they're like, Laura, I'm actually really excited about my bathroom now. Do you know what I mean? I love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Laura, you've surprised me, okay? You've surprised me, and I'm not often surprised. And here I have Sharon Gibson, and you're from Gibson Paving.
I am.
Tell me about Gibson Paving.
Well, I think it's more exciting than toilets, to be honest.
Is
But
it? Do you
I
pave
think it
houses? Like outside houses? Where,
Yeah,
where do
so-
you pave?
I don't like the word pave.
Okay, what would you
so-
prefer?
We create outdoor spaces, that's my thing.
I like that.
So yeah, that's what we do. But
Like
we're-
gardens?
Yeah, so basically the whole outside of your home, so driveways, gardens, patios, walling, garden rooms. the whole
So I
shebang.
can just say, come to my house and it's just a field and you can make it into a
Yeah.
beautiful space.
So we go, bit like Laura does with bathrooms, from design to finish. We do the same for the external, so
Yeah.
design to complete our finish outside
and you,
on a high end level.
and you
so.
come up with this in your own, you're a designer then?
I'm not personally a designer, no, but we do offer a design service within the business, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jane, we have met two very interesting ladies today, because this is quite alien, because we are journalists, which I would sort of say isn't really a proper job. But let's get into it.
Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
Okay, so our first topic, is it a man's world? Like, it's 2025. It shouldn't really be a man's world now. But as we all know, ladies, it still kind of is. Although, interestingly, I have two ladies here who work in very male-oriented environments. But Jane, coming to you first, you didn't start in journalism last year. It was, it was
A good few years ago. Yes,
it was a while back. What was it like?
Well, it was a bit of a man's world, except that I started on women's magazines, so there was a mixed staff, which was nice, but my chief sub was a man, and my first editor, Eric Bailey, was a lovely guy, actually, so that was quite interesting. I remember, though, interviewing Richard Griffiths, the actor, who was acting Henry VIII, and he was in costume, and it was at the Barbican, in the jungly sort of garden bit. And there was this very tedious photographer, I'm going to say his name because he's not going to hear this, Richard Croft. And I had half an hour, that was it, talking to Richard Griffiths. Did he give me half an hour? Did he allow me a quarter of an hour? Did he allow me 10 minutes, 5 minutes? No, I had no minutes. He took the whole time going up his nose and taking photos from this, that and the other
And did you say
angle.
anything?
He took all time. I did. I kept bleating away and trying to ask questions, but it was difficult. So in the end, I accompanied Richard Griffiths to his dressing room, and I think at some point he wanted to get rid of me because he started disrobing, and I'm one of the few people who can say that they've seen this actor who was corpulent. He was the uncle Monty in Withnail and I.
Right.
I saw him in his underwear, very English white vest and knickers, and then I left. But I had my story, you see.
Yeah.
I never give up. Journalists are underrated and blamed for lots of things, but we don't give up. That's one of our good qualities. No.
Now, Laura, you work in the male environment, basically, of plumbing, I guess.
Yes, plumbing, yeah.
Plumbing. And there's not that many female plumbers, are there? Are there?
No, there's not. And it's so funny in the showroom because see if a man comes through the showroom and I'm sitting there and there's another man, say, working alongside me.
Yeah.
Right, they'll always go to the man.
How does that make you feel?
No, I think it's funny.
Do you?
Because then he has to come to me to answer the question.
How long have you worked in plumbing and bathrooms?
24 years. 24 years.
She doesn't look old enough. You since you were 16.
Years. Right. So whenever I was at school, I'm dyslexic. Right. So it's quite
You're the second dyslexic person that's been in this room today.
serious. It's
Yes.
it's unreal, but technology is amazing nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But so whenever I left school, I went into the family business then because it was mummy and daddy's business.
Yes.
So I stepped into there. So I had no other option but whenever you're leaving school, you're going in here.
Yeah.
And that was that. So I know nothing else.
So what were people like to you whenever you started? Were they like, oh, yes, dear?
Oh, no, like, to be honest with you, I started out in the store.
Yeah.
So I was a store person taking in all the deliveries.
But that's really male as well.
And lifting big heavy shirt trays and stuff like that, putting them into each customer's pile.
And were you treated differently because you were
Oh, you're treated like you're stupid.
right? And
know
did
what
you
I
use
mean?
that to your advantage?
I just smile and say nothing. What's the point? Do you know what I mean? Because I used to, you could get aggressive with somebody being
Yes.
like that, but what's the point?
Yeah.
Just smile and say nothing, and then, that's it. And then once I got my driver's test, I was then a delivery driver.
Right.
So I used to deliver out all the bathrooms. And back in the day, like, there was no sat-navs, there was no phones. So I was ringing customers, and they were like, you go past that chapel, the road on your left-hand side, and you go past that school. So I really did start from the bottom and had to work my way up. But I will tell you a funny story. Around the 12th of July, I got a wee bit lost. And I went into this estate, and these men started waving me back. They all thought I had a load of pallets for them. I quickly got out of there. I was like,
I have a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
toilets.
I have toilets here. There's nothing here you can burn. Very sorry about that. But I'm a wee bit lost.
And has
So,
it ever annoyed you that people will go past you to the nearest man?
no, because the man then ends up having to come to me.
And it's quite empowering.
It's just kind of like, and I like I have no bathrooms inside out, and I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
Like I literally, whenever a new product comes in, like I like to learn and know absolutely everything about that product.
Yeah.
Like you might see a vanity unit on display, but it could come in 6 different colours.
But you'll know
and 4 different sizes.
all about it.
And I know all about that.
Can you do plumbing?
No, but we do have plumbers that we do use.
Yes.
But I can do small things, like say I had a customer one time and he kept saying that his toilet wasn't flushing right. And I was like, but the plumber hasn't put the siphon in correctly. It's obviously sitting too low. And that's why the cister's not filling full of water. So that's why you're not getting a good flush. So I was just like, this is a good few years ago. I was just like, I tell you what, I'll meet the plumber. You get the plumber on site and I'll come out and I'll fix the toilet for you.
Yeah. And you were able to do it.
And
you were able to do it.
And I was plumbing. I was flowing perfectly fine after that.
I love that. I love that, Laura. Sharon, what about you? Again, you're working for a business and very male orientated.
Yeah.
What are people like whenever they first meet you?
It's actually really similar to what Laura's saying. So I think because you're a female working in a man's world,
Yes.
like the paving thing, or
Yeah.
it's very construction orientated, and typically in Northern Ireland that is very male dominated. But I'm in the very same boat as you. People come in and say, here, could you get a man to come out and measure that for me? And I'm like,
What do you
or could
say?
you get somebody to come out and measure that? And I'm like, you're looking at the somebody, it is me.
And what do they say?
I think sometimes it shocks people, sometimes it's not. We have quite a good social media presence for our business, so we've kind of built a lot of trust there.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people that come through our door actually know to expect me, and I think you're actually the same.
Yeah, I am, but you still get that
you obviously
odd,
still
odd
get
man,
people
odd
in.
Jesus. I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Or is the boss man about?
As the boss man.
boss
about
man,
it,
Is
like,
the boss
And you
man-
are the boss man.
I am the boss. I am. You're looking
You're
at
the
him.
boss man.
You're
Are
looking at him.
you the boss man of your business?
So I don't like saying yes.
Yeah,
'cause
she is.
I'm not.
Yeah.
My parents started our business 42 years ago.
Yeah.
My father had a stroke back in February of this year. He's doing really well, by the way. He's doing incredible, and he's just a champion. But my brother and I have obviously been talking with our parents for many years now about succession and what that looks like, but our arm was completely forced, obviously in February when Dad took unwell. So I am not the boss. My brother and I work together
A team.
as
Joint.
a team.
Joint bosses.
And we bounce off each other and we make things happen with an unbelievable team of staff.
Do you think there's
Most
anything
days of the week.
like? Do you think there's anything that girls can't do?
No.
Love that just went no.
Absolutely not. No.
We can do everything. Oh,
Yes.
but this is the problem with us now.
Yeah.
We now do everything, and men are now happy enough. They're like, these here had a fight for women's rights.
Yes.
We fought for women's rights. Now we literally have to do everything. And the
that's a
men
very
are
good
loving
point.
life, sitting
Do
back
you
now.
think
going,
men maybe don't know their place now? Do you think actually? Do you feel? Sometimes I feel a bit bad for men because we can do everything. Like we make our own money, we do everything. What are men for?
I don't know. So I'm not married.
sperm.
I'm not. I'm not married, so everything that needs to be done in my house
Neither am I.
is me that does it.
Yeah.
But in terms of our business, genuinely, without the guys, I can't do it. Like I'm no good without what they do.
I think you've got a very good point there, Kim. I think that men are slightly confused now, and not knowing their role. And it's a bit like I still quite like doors to be open for me. I mean, there's this whole thing.
Yeah.
Does my husband do that? No, he doesn't. You know, he says, "Oh well, I'm going ahead to fight off the monsters. You know, that might attack you." Ha ha ha. But I think that men are slightly confused about their role because if women can do everything, yes, where is the male of the species? You know, what's he up
And
to?
what's he doing?
He's not manly anymore.
Do you find that?
No.
Do you
No,
think men
I
aren't manly?
I think especially the generation underneath us
Yes.
has changed an awful lot.
The ones
Like,
wearing those little short trouser things
Oh my God,
and the
I'm
wee
like,
pointy
I can't
shoes.
cope. I can't cope.
Those ones.
Like my girls are going to eat them men alive.
Oh,
I
you've
know
got two
that. I have
girls.
two girls, and I know the men are screwed.
Yeah.
Like my husband works for me, so like that. Do you know what I mean?
Your husband works for you.
Uh-huh.
And you shout at him at work.
No, I don't.
Are you nice to him at work?
I try to be
Do you bully him?
pleasant,
Professional,
pleasant. But
yes.
don't get me wrong. Now there is the odd day in the office where the two of us are going at it.
Yeah.
Like angry.
Yeah.
And then you just have to take a deep breath, and because he's only recently stepped in, so I've got my routine going.
Yeah.
And then he stepped in, and then he's like, my husband's a farmer.
Yeah.
Right, a farmer, but you can't use a computer.
Right.
Right, so I'm constantly having to show him all this stuff.
Yeah.
And men have a habit of, because we do it all, I always find he nearly puts more work back onto me. I'm like, Leslie, you can do this. But he gets it in his head, oh, I can't do that.
Right.
Where women, we don't use the word can't.
No, we just have to get on with
get on
it.
with
We
it.
can't
We just
stop
do it.
really.
Do you know what I mean?
Because usually you've got a couple of kids in tow, or you've got like a mum who's sick or a dad who's sick, or
get
you've got
on
something,
with
you
it,
know,
yeah.
and you have to kind of get on with it. I always say this: like women have we're juggling so many different
Oh
things.
my God, yes. We're
yes.
completely multitasking.
Yeah.
Like on Saturday, it was so funny. I was down in that showroom with my two kids.
Yeah.
And 1 minute they were playing with each other, the next minute they were fighting with each other, and the showroom was so busy. But you know, it was so nice. People really appreciated that. One customer did have a joke. She says, oh my God, I have 4 boys. They're nothing compared to your 2 girls. And I was like,
Yeah.
I know, literally you think there's a herd of elephants up right there
Really?
running around squealing at each other. But people... You know, people appreciate small family businesses.
Yes.
You know, people like to spend their money local because at the end of the day, if you spend your money with me and Sharon, we're keeping it in Northern Ireland. We're
Yeah,
keeping
you're
it
keeping it
local.
local.
Where instead, if you go to these big English companies, they don't care. The money's going over till England somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's not, making anything here in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter. Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
Transform your home with style and grace. At Decora Blinds Belfast, we offer elegant, made-to-measure blinds, blending beauty with functionality. From vibrant Alumatech aluminium Venetians to stunning shutter blinds, each available in a range of colours and slot widths. Wood or PVC Venetians, you'll hardly know the difference. Add tapes for that extra touch of luxury. Discover timeless design. Discover Decora Blinds Belfast.
Make your living room the heart of your home with Glen Hill. From media walls to fireplaces, stoves to electric fires, we blend traditional charm with contemporary style. Visit Glen Hill, Stockman's Way, Belfast, or glenhill.co.uk. Glen Hill, affordable quality for over 40 years.
Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
Another thing I want to ask you about now, our second topic, I guess, is the family thing. Jane, could you work with your family?
I would find it quite difficult. I have worked for my nephew. He's a very successful business person. He's the only member of the family who really knows about money and has made a lot. And one of his businesses was quite interesting, actually. It was writing questions and answers, for competitions. I mean, abroad, around the world, and the back of cereal packets and wherever you might need a question and answer. And at that point...
Interesting job. I didn't think that was a job.
Yes. That's been a nice little earner for a while. It's not his main business, but anyway. And he got me to do some questions and answers, and I had to do some risque ones once, actually. That was quite fun. But I also had to do some...
Go on, ask us a question.
I also had to do ordinary ones, but it was terrifying working for Henry because I know him, I value him, I'm very fond of him, but I was terrified that what I was doing wouldn't be the right thing, wouldn't be good enough. I'll tell you what, and I certainly wouldn't work for my niece, who's a teacher and a head of department. That would be a complete nightmare. She'd tear frighten the pants off you, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I couldn't work with my family.
I don't think I could work with my family. No, I don't. No, obviously, you've always had to work with your family. What's it like? Are you able to leave it at the door?
Now my family have nothing to do with the bathroom shower.
It's just you.
It's just me, and it has been like that this past, I would say, nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
Because Mummy, she deals with property. Right. And I'll be honest, once I stepped in, she kind of wanted to step out.
Yes,
she was
happy
I've
to step.
kind of had enough.
I've had enough,
of selling bathrooms here, so you're going to have to run with it. So I've been quite lucky in that sense. Plus, it's quite fun. I'm quite strict. I like, because I talk all day. So whenever I go home in the evenings, I don't want to see my family. That sounds so bad. That's why I'm like, please do not.
It does sound quite bad, Laura.
I know, I'm sorry about that, but at least I'm honest. I'm like, do not call up and visit me.
Yes.
You only ever call up to me if you're invited. If you're not invited, do not come near me because I've been talking all day.
Yeah.
I just want to literally go home, play with my 2 wee girls.
Yeah.
And maybe be out and about in the farmyard with them, trying to relax.
Yeah.
Instead of coming home and then feeling like I need to make them a cup of tea and entertain somebody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that in the evenings. I want to be like left alone.
Yeah.
So I would see my mum probably twice a week. Mm. And my sisters, I could go months without seeing them.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And did you have to work with them in the business at first?
No, they all have their own businesses.
Right.
So we all have our own businesses.
Right.
So I've got one sister who owns Spoiled Belle Boutique in Markfelt.
Right, is that your sister? Okay,
that's
yes.
Rachel. And then
of course it is. Yes, of course it is. Yes. Yes.
Keep up, will you?
Yeah, of course. Because you're all shiver. Yeah, gotcha. Right, gotcha. Yeah. Because it's quite an unusual last name. Yeah, right. I didn't realise that was your sister. Right. Okay.
So, and then I have another sister. She actually owns a plumbing supplies business outside Randallstown.
It's all interwoven.
So her and her husband work together in it. Mm-hmm. So they do. And then obviously Daddy, he has a business, and then Mummy obviously the property business. So we're kind of all in business.
You're all business people.
Yeah.
Mm. Sharon, did you find you had to prove yourself more because it was the family business? You're like, oh, she's just in here because she's family.
Oh, you do get a bit of that, but you have to just let it run off you like water off a duck's back, really, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So I'm 35 now. I've been in the business since I was 18, maybe. So I came out of school and Dad would never let me work in the business without working somewhere else first. Mm-hmm. So I did the whole thing you do when you're a teenager and worked in a local shop and all of that. And then I went and got a job in a financial institution for a year. And I actually handed my notice in before I told my parents. So I did a year.
You'd already made the decision. Yeah.
I just wasn't loving it. It wasn't busy enough for me. It was the same thing every day. And it just was one of those things. But I handed my notice in and didn't tell them and came home and said, I don't have a job as of 3 weeks' time, whatever it was. And without exaggeration, I couldn't have bit my finger. I couldn't have made you a cup of tea. I couldn't have spoke to you on the phone. Genuinely couldn't have done any of those really common
I was like
things.
That when I was younger. I couldn't speak to someone on the phone. I was so shy.
Yeah.
Were you shy?
To a point, aye,
awkward,
genuinely
it's
to a
awkward
point.
sort of
But I'm very like Laura. I grew up in the business, so my first job, myself and my brother, we used to have a bagging plant for sand.
Right.
So big heavy
Another
bags,
quite a masculine job.
big heavy
Yes.
bags of sand
Yeah.
on this conveyor belt as a teenager.
Yes. Yeah.
A female teenager. So I'm very much like you. I started from the ground to where I'm at now, and I'm still not above cleaning toilets and. Like I have a fork truck license, jumping on a fork truck and offloading
Yeah,
a lorry, and
yeah.
like just you kind of do whatever you have to do. But going back to your question about working with family, I actually can't see me ever working with anyone but my family.
Really?
Aye,
There'd be trust there, wouldn't there?
me and my brother are very close.
Yeah.
Very close, and us as a family unit are very close. My brother's married now, but I think especially with Dad taking ill, it gives you no option but to knit so tight that
Yes.
you can't come loose.
Yeah.
Now we all live in our separate homes, but
Yeah.
I can't see me working with anyone. Now obviously we've got a team who are non-family,
Yeah.
and they're absolutely incredible. But the longer you spend time with people, as cliche as this sounds, they become a bit family.
They do. They do.
Yes,
We're
yes,
we're like that at Local Woman.
Yes,
even the
I'm
people
sure.
who we were mentioning earlier on. Like we're like you become
Yeah.
like brother and sister.
And you get to a point where you know
Yeah.
you know
You know them
someone's
really
form,
well, yeah.
You know someone's form for the day without even
Yeah.
breaking breath, or
Yeah.
you know
You know what they're thinking. Like someone will ask me, "Oh, what will so and so think about that?" I'm like, "He won't like that."
yeah.
I know straight away.
I'm like, "He
You're
won't like that."
that's
I'm
not
or
happening.
like, "I've got a really good idea for your boss." I'm like, "He won't like that because
Yeah.
I know that he doesn't like this."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get to know it.
You
I
just-
think for
it's
us,
weird, yeah.
see when Dad took not well, we really felt the true value. We've always known the value of our staff, always,
Mm.
but we felt the true value of them then because they became family. I know how cliche and ridiculous that sounds.
doesn't
and they'll-
no,
if
it's
they
not.
ever hear
It's
this,
not.
they'll be standing rolling their eyes. But
Mm-hmm.
we felt the true value of a
Yes,
family
that's
unit who
great.
weren't your immediate blood family, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter. Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
Don't just picture a new look. Step right into it at Glen Hill, Stockman's Way. Explore Belfast's biggest media wall displays with bespoke designs from Mivonic and Alir. Plus, stunning multi-fuel stoves and fireplaces. Find your modern way of living only at Glen Hill, Stockman's Way, Belfast.
Transform your home with style and grace. At Decora Blinds Belfast, we offer elegant, made-to-measure blinds, blending beauty with functionality. From vibrant Alumatech aluminium Venetians to stunning shutter blinds, each available in a range of colours and slot widths. Wood or PVC Venetians, you'll hardly know the difference. Add tapes for that extra touch of luxury. Discover timeless design. Discover Decora Blinds Belfast.
Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.
I think talking to you two girls has been really interesting for me and Jane because we come from a sort of arty background, and it's going to lead on to my final thing about going to university, finishing school, getting qualifications. There's such an onus on this. Obviously, you and I went to university and did poetry or whatever we did. You know what I mean? But I've always felt school is not for everyone. I really have. And look how successful you two are. I mean, you two are super successful, but you both left school at quite a young age, didn't you?
So I sorry I'm interrupting you, but I left school. I always knew when I went to the Rainy in Macrophil.
All right. So did my husband, actually.
Yeah, well, I don't get me.
Funny
I
enough.
loved it, but
Yeah,
I
a long
always
time
knew.
before you, obviously.
I always knew that I didn't want to go to uni.
Really?
But
Yes.
I did do lower and upper sixth. I did.
Right. So
you
But
did
I-
your A-levels.
Yeah, but I felt that whenever they knew that I wasn't going to uni, you're kind of kicked to the curb a wee bit. I
Right.
always knew I was going to the business. That's what I wanted to do. It was in me.
And was that unusual amongst your friends?
Yeah, because all of my friendship group then
Yeah.
all went to uni.
Yes.
I could
yes.
probably say I could count in two hands out of my year.
People who
Those that
knew they
didn't.
weren't going to university.
Yes.
But
And,
I
like,
do
it's so
find there's a difference now.
expensive
Yeah,
these
that's
days.
what I was going to say. So I'm 35 now, live in my own house, very grateful for everything that I have. I've worked my butt off to get
No
to where I'm
debt.
at. Thankfully, no debt. Yeah, no debt.
They're amazing.
No doubt.
And you're probably the same.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
What age were you whenever you left school?
Oh my God, I had just turned 16.
Right.
So I was the baby in the class. leaving school was the best day of my life. Like, I couldn't believe
Really?
everybody else was crying, and I was like, I am out of here, peace out. I hope I never see any of you again. But thank you so much. And it was like, school was rough for me.
Because of your dyslexia?
And then it left it that I was in the lower class. So I was in the lowest class.
Oh, right. So you're in with people who are badly behaved.
Yes, literally. Like, some of the people who are in my class would probably be in a different school now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If we were doing it all again now.
Yes,
like
yes.
You know, those fairly clear.
You shouldn't have been in that class.
Oh my God, it was awful. I remember my teacher saying to me, look, you shouldn't be in this class. But because your spelling's awful, like...
You should have been allowed to do training rather than, like, you shouldn't have been having to do English literature and poetry. You should have been doing accounts and marketing and businessy things.
Do you know what cracks me up, right? Do you know the stuff like we taught, like maths, how we were taught maths at school? Like my Maisie, she learns maths differently.
They don't do the same.
Why do they
don't know,
keep
it's just
changing it?
trends. It's
trends.
trends.
I think that actually this country should emulate Europe, because Germany has a proper technical training and technical advancement alongside academic, and the two are regarded equally.
I think France
highly.
has it as well. Like,
and I think France
to do your GCSEs, you don't have to do like maths and English. You can go to like a school and learn how to be a waiter or a chef from fifth.
And
that's
brilliant.
respected.
Yeah, that's
those
respected.
jobs
That's
are
the thing to do.
respected,
But can I ask, like, so the amount of people that go to university but don't actually do, but they don't do whenever they go to university, they pick the subject.
I always talk about this, right?
What is the crack with that?
I have some of the
crack
weirdest.
is it teaches you how to think.
It teaches you how to critically
analyse.
think, right?
No, well, not correctly think, but how to analyse.
You suppose so.
It does.
Or how
and
to
it
critically think, not
opens your
correctly.
eyes to ideas. And it enables you to be critical. And that's why the government doesn't like people doing certain subjects at university, because it will make you critical of the regime.
I always
in
laugh.
charge,
No, but some of them subjects are like.
Well,
Well,
I
I have
haven't-
funny. See, my daughters.
Yeah.
They are only going to be allowed to go to university if they're going to be like a school teacher, a doctor,
Dentist,
a nurse,
yeah.
a dentist.
Right, I have an
something
A
like
level
that.
in Latin. Would you like me to speak some Latin for you?
Go on ahead.
Because I
Go
can't.
for it. Go for it.
I have an A level in Latin.
Puella,
what?
puella.
You know, like what? You know, and I have, you know, like a master's in poetry, metaphysical poetry.
But you
So
don't.
this is like
but you
foreign
don't-
language to me.
I know, and I love that you and I are
You don't-
similar, and you're looking at
I'm
it
like,
going,
talk to me about
But you don't
tiles
do
or
something
Yeah.
just to use it. That
Yeah.
would be
Yes,
to
that's what we'd
minimise
say.
it.
You
I
use
mean,
it
that's
to
the
train
point.
your brain. I think
Yes.
it's to make your brain. I think I'm
Expand
no
the brain a
expert.
bit.
Yeah, you're sort of you go to university to learn these things to train your brain to think a certain way. So what? If I apply it to local woman stuff, whenever you send me through things like your column, I can immediately scan it and fix it round. And just, you know,
Yes.
and immediately, and people will say to me, oh, my maths or my English is not good, Kim. And I'm like, send me voice notes. So that would be, I would say, my superpower
Yes.
would be to translate other people's minds
Yeah.
into something on the page.
But do you think the likes of ChatGPT or whatever
To
is
a
going
point.
to change a lot of that?
They are and they aren't, Laura. Your ChatGPT and your chatbot is only as good as a person training it. So if you were to put it into ChatGPT, I'd be able to spot it immediately and it wouldn't sound like you. And I'm glad now that I've met you, right? That I've met you in person, because I know what you're like now. So I can get your very sort of feisty, kind of hard tone
Never.
into your writing. Yeah. I can make you, I can slightly tweak your column to make it sound more like you than you've made it. If you know what I mean.
Exactly.
I can capture you now. Now that I've met you, I'm like, haha, I know what kind of girl she is.
There you
And there's a certain skill, and that's something you would learn doing an English literature degree
Yes,
or
it
doing a
is.
languages
Style.
degree. It's a weird kind of a
But
skill.
the likes of them degrees, yes, but there's also certain other degrees out there that
Like golf course management.
like
Media studies.
to be fair, like our Rachel, she has a degree
Yeah.
in criminology and criminal justice.
I love that degree. Useless, but great.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But she owns a boutique for a living. And
Yeah,
do you know what
yeah.
I mean? Stuff like that.
I
there.
don't know.
She might have become a lawyer. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder
And
what degree you would need to do what you do or I do.
Right,
good question.
Your
The
degree,
degree of
you'd
life.
need degrees
Yes.
in
Practical
business,
skills.
Business. Well, you need business,
Business
to
and
run a business.
maths.
But then you're going to
Finance.
need some kind of plumbing, engineering sort of type thing.
Well, do you know
design?
do you know what I'm hoping now?
What?
See young boys
Yeah.
that they all go into trades now and forget.
I'm kinda
this
hoping that
university,
too.
Carry on for a wee minute.
I feel very strongly that there's too many people going to university, that there's now the degrees aren't as valued as
No,
they
that's
were.
true.
Like back in the day, getting a degree in English literature was a big deal. Now everyone's like, who cares? You know, and I think that's a shame because they've devalued a degree and then loads of people are left feeling stupid because they don't have one, which is absolute nonsense. Because some of the most clever people I know do not have any degrees.
absolutely.
They do not
Yeah.
have any degrees. They have no GCSEs. They have
Yeah.
no formal qualifications.
Some of the best journalists I know didn't go to uni.
That's the other thing. Whenever we became journalists, I was the first year that you had to have a degree and
Yes.
qualifications to be a journalist. So any journalist older than me, journalism was considered a trade, a bit like plumbing,
Yeah.
being
But
a
I-
secretary, that sort of thing. You
Yeah.
know,
But I'm self-trained. I
Yeah.
learned subbing from the Writers and Artists.
you just
Yearbook.
learned on. There
And
was
my
no
mother,
courses.
who was
There was
also
no
a journalist,
courses.
so she gave me some
Yeah.
tips. You know,
Like now, there's a degree in journalism,
Yes,
and I
there is.
actually to this day say, how do you fill 3 years?
3
How do you-
years.
That's a 3-year degree.
well, you have to do law, libel.
The
I
law
mean,
only
there's-
takes you. The law.
no,
I
it takes
did
you
one
year.
module. I did
Yes.
one module of law for my.
Right.
I went to tech to learn to become a journalist. After I did a degree in English, I went to a tech to do a BTEC in journalism, where you learned typing, shorthand, law,
Yes.
writing.
But do you know something? Common sense goes a long way too.
There's not
you
much of
know
that
what?
about.
I know.
Yeah,
Do you know
there's
what I
not
mean?
much- yeah.
Yes.
We need to bring back the manly big men that are going to be all sorting out all our pipes and plumbing.
Where are those
and-
manly big men, Laura? Because if
I
you have
have-
one, give me a shout.
I have
Yes,
no
exactly.
idea, to be
So
honest.
I'm
with you.
sitting here.
Sharon, sit
I'm sitting
sitting
here
over here,
listening
not-
to you,
not
and
married.
I'm like, growing up in a family who have a family business is
Yeah.
like being at a completely different kind of university.
Well, yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God,
That's
no, it is,
interesting,
yeah.
yes.
Like it's a university of life where you literally
Yes.
learn
Yeah.
on the job. So I'm sitting here while you were chatting, going through our staff in my head. I honestly, I'm not 100% sure that any of our staff have a degree.
Yeah.
My dad started when he was 19
Yeah.
Yes.
with no qualifications of any degree.
right.
42 years later, we are an incredibly strong business.
Yeah.
That's successful.
Like,
yes.
You know, his first
Well,
driveway
that's-
that he laid, he bought Tobermore brick paving and laid it upside down in my granny's house. You know,
There,
like...
Yeah.
We learned on the
But
job
you know
then.
what he did? He learnt not to lay it upside down.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
didn't need a
I often
professor
feel
of
that about
something to tell
my
him not to do
family.
that again, you know?
I
take
come
your
from
point.
a family of 4. Okay, so I have a degree in English. My sister has a degree in hospitality management. One has a degree in marketing, and one has a degree in media. And as my late stepmother used to say, "I'm not one of you can do anything. Like, not one of you could cut hair.
Change a tire.
Like, not one of you could
Yes.
cut hair. Like, none of us have any skills like being able to blow dry hair or
Yeah.
being able to give you a set of nails or, you know, anything that
Yeah.
might be of any use to anybody. Oh, I mean, I can write you a nice letter.
Column.
You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
I could
Yeah.
write you a column, write you a letter.
Yes,
but for
exactly.
practical skills, like, I can't, you know, none of us are any use.
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have one. I don't have the first clue about how to lay a patio. In principle, in my head, I know the do's and the don'ts, but don't
Yeah.
ask me to do it. But that's why you have to work with everyone on their strengths.
Yes.
For some reason, whenever
know.
you're saying about laying a patio, I thought, wouldn't that make a really good column in Local Woman, you know, in case any of us kill our
If you write
husbands.
it, I'll word
I
it.
know.
In case we decide to kill our husbands and then we
Yes.
could bury
Oh,
them.
no.
Bury them in the patio.
Because
Yes,
I think
exactly.
people feel because they don't get the drainage right.
Oh
Give
dear.
me,
then- and then it
give me
begins to
Leslie
flood.
another 6 months.
Then it
and
begins to
Sharon, I'll be
flood.
giving you a shout.
Hopefully not.
That was
we don't
fun
solve
time,
ourselves
wasn't it?
lemons.
Yes, yeah. So these 2 girls are useful to know. Right. That's us finished for another episode of Local Women's Keeping an Eye on It podcast, sponsored by Cathedral Eye Clinic, with 2 very interesting ladies, with Sharon, with Laura, with Jane, of course, as usual. What have we learned? We've learned that Laura Shivers is the queen of toilets.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've learned that we don't really need to go to university, Jane.
No, we
We
don't.
wasted our time.
We did,
we
yeah,
did. We
wasted
wasted our
3
time.
years,
We
yes.
wasted 3 years, and we haven't a penny between us.
No, exactly.
We've all
I hope I haven't insulted anybody now.
No, you haven't at all. We say this to each other all the
Yes.
time. And we've also learned that if you want to know how to get rid of a body, Sharon
No,
could
no,
show
I
you how
did
to lay a
not
patio.
send you
She did
that
it. Sharon could teach you how to lay a patio. Thank you, girls. That was really
Thanks for having us.
interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter. Keeping an Eye on It podcast from Local Women Magazine is brought to you by Cathedral Eye Clinic, Northern Ireland's leading eye specialist.